The title of King of Pop at the moment can only rightfully be claimed by one person. This performer has entered the Guinness World Records as the most popular singer in the world. He is listened to by 112 million people every month, and that's just on the Spotify streaming platform. Once upon a time, however, this artist was homeless and struggling with addiction. Today, almost every inhabitant of planet Earth has probably heard his name. Covers of his tracks exist in almost every language, and his nickname has long become synonymous with the highest quality pop music. This is a true success story, an underground singer from Toronto becoming one of the most influential and streamed musicians of our time. As you may have already guessed, we are of course talking about The Weeknd.
You don't even have to do too much. You can turn me on with just a touch.
His music serves as soundtracks to dark and piercing stories about love, pain, and self-destruction. After achieving incredible success, the artist made the decision to abandon his stage name. What does this mean for his music and career? Let's try to figure it out together. Get comfortable, and we begin the story of the most successful pop artist today. The artist's real name is Abel Tesfaye. He was born in 1990 in Toronto, to a family of Ethiopian immigrants. His father left the family after his son was born, so the boy was raised by his mother and grandmother. He has a distant relationship with his father, about which he once said, "I vaguely saw him when I was 6 and then again when I was 11 or 12, and he had a new family and kids. I don't even know where he lived. I saw him one night. I'm sure he's a great guy. I never judged him. He wasn't abusive, he wasn't an alcoholic, he wasn't an asshole. He was just not there." While his mother worked multiple jobs, his grandmother taught him his native Amharic language and instilled a love for music. The future star's father recalled that Abel loved music from childhood and even refused to eat without it. Abel's passion for music had its inspirations, which influenced The Weeknd's unique sound. He cites Michael Jackson, Prince, Portishead, The Smiths, Massive Attack, and Talking Heads as his idols. As a child, Abel listened to a wide range of music: post-punk, soul, hip-hop, indie rock, and funk. All of this made it difficult for critics to classify Tesfaye's songs under a single genre. Thus, he is called an alternative R&B artist. The future musician recalls the extreme loneliness he felt throughout his childhood. "There was no father figure in my house, no boys around, just me and my mom." The future singer lived in one of the poorest and most dangerous areas of Toronto and started smoking at the age of 11. His best friend in school was a guy named Lamar Taylor. They smoked weed and talked about movies and music. In 2007, at 17 years old, they convinced each other to drop out of school and leave home. Tesfaye remembers the day he dragged his mattress out of his room and tossed it into the back of a van. He once described his mother watching that moment with the worst expression anyone could ever have. "She looked at me like she had failed." The life plan the two boys came up with was vague. They lived on welfare and rented a one-bedroom apartment in Parkdale, a suburb close to Toronto. They spent everything they had on alcohol and illegal substances and survived on food stolen from supermarkets. They threw parties, lived recklessly, and sometimes, according to Tesfaye, made a living by robbing passers-by of their shoes. "Most evenings we spent getting wasted on whatever was available," Tesfaye recalled. During his independent life, Abel was homeless several times and had run-ins with the police. At 18, he almost got into serious trouble with the law. The artist doesn't go into details, but admits he spent a night in jail. That experience helped The Weeknd wise up and focus. He moved out of the Parkdale apartment and began couch surfing with different girlfriends. He got a job at an American apparel store where he folded clothes. At the same time, Abel started writing music, initially thinking that existing pop stars would buy his material. "I doubted my voice a lot," he said. But with support from his friends and close ones, he started using his vocals in tracks. Illegal substances were no longer just for partying. They helped him stay awake for 5 nights in a row while perfecting a song. Before releasing music under his current stage name, he performed under the alias Kin Kane as part of the hip-hop duo Bullies and Nerds. Abel also released music under the name The Noise. Later, as the artist began to gain initial popularity, unreleased tracks recorded under this nickname surfaced online. He later chose his stage name by removing the letter E from The Weeknd to avoid confusion with a well-known Canadian band. At the time, I hated my name and decided to try a stage name. That's how I came up with The Weeknd. It sounded cool, Abel said. In August 2009, The Weeknd began anonymously uploading music to YouTube. The following year, he met producer Jeremy Rose at a party. After hearing the aspiring singer freestyle over an instrumental, Rose asked if he wanted to collaborate on a dark R&B project. After creating several songs and parting ways due to creative differences, Abel was allowed to use the songs they had written together, provided Rose received songwriting credit. In December 2010, The Weeknd uploaded the songs What You Need, Loft Music, and The Morning to YouTube under a pseudonym that was a random combination of letters. His identity initially remained unknown. Those early songs felt raw and strikingly fresh, as if he had appeared out of nowhere.
Oh, you got it, you're a big girl.
Forget about press releases, promotional tours, and overly hyped music video premieres. When The Weeknd first emerged on the scene, he didn't even have a name. One of Abel's first performances as The Weeknd took place in 2010 at a concert organized by the Black Students Association at the University of Toronto. There is a very blurry YouTube video of this performance. He performs an early version of What You Need before an audience that clearly wasn't impressed. There were persistent rumors that OVO co-founder and longtime Drake associate Oliver El-Khatib was present at the concert, and it was through him that The Weeknd met Drake. In March 2011, Drake posted a very short message on the blog of the official OVO website, writing, "OVO gang, it's been too long," and adding a link to The Weeknd's website and the song Wicked Games. Shortly after, he tweeted the same link. Of course, the post had a massive impact, instantly making The Weeknd a popular artist and a critic's favorite. No promotional announcement had ever created such a frenzy before. That same year, in 2011, Abel met music producers Wasim Slaby, known as Sal, and Amir Esmailian, also known as Cash. Along with his friend Taylor, the same one he ran away from home with at 17, he founded the label XO. On March 21st, The Weeknd released his debut mixtape, House of Balloons. The mixtape also included tracks produced by Rose, although he did not receive any payment for them. House of Balloons was named one of the 10 finalists for the Polaris Music Prize in 2011. The Weeknd began working with Drake in May 2011 and eventually earned a spot at OVO Fest, which took place on July 31st. In July 2011, Abel performed live for the first time at Mod Club Theatre in Toronto. On August 8, 2011, The Weeknd released his second mixtape, Thursday, which received mostly positive reviews. That same year, the future pop king wrote 4 songs for Drake's second studio album, Take Care. In April 2012, The Weeknd embarked on his first international tour, which included performances at Coachella and sold-out shows at many venues. In September, The Weeknd signed a deal with Republic Records, and XO was accepted as a subsidiary label. That same month, the singer embarked on his first official North American concert tour, the Fall Tour, which included both solo headlining performances and opening acts for the English band Florence and the Machine. Let's be honest, this sounds like a TV series plot. A boy from the slums, a street kid, effortlessly transforms from an underground Toronto hero to an artist signed with Republic Records. But things only got bigger from there. He recorded another mixtape, Echoes of Silence, which, along with the previous 2, was included in the compilation Trilogy. His signature style was already well-defined, pure angelic vocals combined with brutal, cynical lyrics containing explicit innuendos. The main themes of the compilation were depression, reckless living, and illicit substances. The Weeknd's tracks began breaking traditional song structures and lengths, yet fans were thrilled. Before the album's release in 2012, Abel was shy about fan attention, but soon there was nothing left of his past modesty. The Weeknd realized he was on the right path and was just a step away from conquering the music Olympus. To improve his performances, Abel started practicing dancing, hired a vocal coach, and frequently watched his own concerts to correct mistakes and make his shows even more spectacular. From the start of his career, Abel focused not just on music but also on visual presentation. For example, one of his first official videos, The Knowing, was striking and surreal, with an abundance of CGI and a fantastic storyline set in the distant future on a fictional planet. On September 10th, 2013, the official presentation of the album Kissland took place. It fully lived up to fans' expectations and confidently entered the top 5 albums of the year. Along with its dark sound and falsetto singing, Abel armed himself with an original hairstyle, inspired by Jean-Michel Basquiat. By the way, here's what Abel later said about that hairstyle.
How'd you feel when you cut it off?
Oh man, it's the greatest feeling of all time. It was so good.
Because it was heavy,
sleep,
right?
I could sleep better, you know, I felt lighter. You know, when I perform better.
In this look, The Weeknd released his debut album. The record continued the trend of ghostly sounds and was dedicated to the theme of fear. In 2015, Abel shifted towards a more mainstream sound, which of course brought him even more popularity. That year, The Weeknd released his second album, Beauty Behind the Madness. The album became a major milestone in his career, transforming him from a successful but still niche artist into a global icon. The LP won a Grammy and a Billboard Award, and one of its tracks, Earned It, in addition to winning those same prestigious trophies, also received an Oscar nomination for Best Original Song. It was featured in the movie 50 Shades of Grey.
You make it look like it's magic.
The album won a Grammy Award for Best Urban Contemporary Album. Another massively streamed track was Can't Feel My Face.
She told me don't worry no more.
It topped the Billboard Hot 100, ranking in the top 3 at the same time as The Hills and Earned It, marking a new achievement in music history. From that moment on, The Weeknd was no longer just seen as a talented musician, but as a hitmaker, whose every release became wildly popular. In 2016, shocking many fans, The Weeknd said goodbye to his signature hairstyle.
I was thinking about it for a bit. I mean, it just wasn't, the vision wasn't there anymore, you know?
Yeah.
It was there, and then, you know, just like the music, it was getting really sad.
How'd you feel when you cut it off?
Oh man, it's the greatest feeling of all time.
In an updated look and sound, the artist releases his super hit album Starboy. The dark mood in his song seems to have disappeared without a trace, but an impressive lineup of star guests opens new doors in The Weeknd's creativity. Neon 80s. On the album, you will hear collaborations with Future, Daft Punk, Kendrick Lamar, and Lana Del Rey. And once again, a Grammy Award for Best Urban Album. Speaking of The Weeknd's success, it's hard to ignore his groundbreaking album After Hours. This album brought him 10 Billboard Awards, including Artist of the Year, as well as the opportunity to perform at the Super Bowl 2021. The album received numerous positive reviews from music critics. After Hours ranked #1 on the charts in the US, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, the UK, Sweden, and other countries. Throughout Apple Music's history, the album set an absolute record for pre-orders. More than 1.02 million users added it to their libraries even before its release. The album's sales success was largely ensured by the impact of its preceding singles. It all started with Blinding Lights, whose popularity instantly skyrocketed and even overshadowed the legendary Can't Feel My Face and Starboy. For this, Abel received several American Music Awards. The fame was further solidified by the release of In Your Eyes and Save Your Tears, the latter later featuring vocals from Ariana Grande. The success of After Hours was cemented with a grand performance at the prestigious Super Bowl halftime show. During the Super Bowl break, The Weeknd performed his greatest hits. Despite his massive list of achievements, the artist still did not receive the Grammy's top award. Although the Grammy Academy had previously awarded him 3 times, from 2016 to 2018, there was no place for After Hours in the 2021 nominations. Seeing his absence in the nominations, Abel took to Twitter and accused the awards of a lack of transparency. At first, this seemed like mere resentment, but over time, the incident became a catalyst for change. This scandal led to changes in the awards' voting policies. To ensure greater fairness, the Grammy Awards disbanded its secret committee. Groups of major industry figures whose identities were undisclosed, yet held significant influence over final decisions regarding the awards. When discussing The Weeknd's conflicts in the music industry, it's impossible not to mention his brief feud with Justin Bieber. 2 artists competing for the title of Pop King ended up clashing over a girl. After Justin broke up with Selena Gomez, she began dating The Weeknd. In the same month the couple officially announced their relationship, TMZ approached Bieber and asked for his opinion on The Weeknd's music. The singer responded, "Hell no, I can't listen to The Weeknd's songs, that shit is whack." Overall, Abel is not a confrontational person, and unlike other artists, he hasn't been involved in many public beefs. However, we all remember probably the biggest rap feud of the past decade, the Drake versus Kendrick Lamar battle. Despite Drake helping The Weeknd gain his first taste of fame, Abel did not take Drake's side in the conflict. Rather, he seemed to lean towards Lamar. On April 12, 2024, Metro Boomin and Future released We Still Don't Trust You. The 25-track album serves as a follow-up to their previous release, We Don't Trust You. The Weeknd appears on 2 tracks, the title song and All to Myself. The latter sparked controversy over whether the singer dissed Drake. Listeners believe that certain lyrics in the track are clearly directed at Drake. "They can never diss my brothers, baby, 'cause they got problems of their own. Thank God I didn't lose my life signing that contract." While The Weeknd didn't directly mention Drake in this track, it's hard to ignore the line about not signing a contract, given that Drake tried to sign him to his OVO sound label years ago. So, did The Weeknd diss Drake in this track? We can't say for sure, but judging by Drake's reaction, yes. On April 4th, 2024, an unreleased track from Drake titled Push-Ups leaked online. In this song, Drake responds to all his critics, including The Weeknd. Here's a quote from Drake. "And when you got rich, you ran away from here, cash blowing Abel's money. The shit we do for women, he does for blacks." Drake references Cash XO, The Weeknd's manager, claiming that he hands out large sums of money to people for personal gain. Drake also calls out The Weeknd, alluding to the number of features he provided for We Don't Trust You and We Still Don't Trust You. The Weeknd appeared on Young Metro, We Still Don't Trust You, All to Myself, and Always Be My Fault. Drake argues that, given the number of features The Weeknd participated in, he is making a lot of money off Future and Metro Boomin, as the tracks are likely to gain huge popularity due to his involvement. In response, The Weeknd shared a photo of himself laughing on a couch with a bowl of popcorn, while Cash simply posted a video featuring Future and Metro Boomin. By the way, here's what The Weeknd himself had to say about Drake in one of his rare interviews.
To Drake when I was in Toronto around Views, and he said he had nothing but lovely things to say about you. He's obviously stoked for your success. But there's always been this kind of like, it seems to me for fans, we look at it like there's a little bit of a competitive edge going on there. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, he's like, you know, I came in as, you know, my big bro and, you know, showed the world, you know, what I could do. And then, you know, from then on, it's been like, he's always been supporting me and, you know, I've always been, you know, supporting him. And behind the scenes, we're still like very close, you know? But it's cool that the world can see us kind of doing our own thing. OVOXO is, you know, it'll always be there.
But it's not there right now. You know, it's not.
It is.
It is to you guys, but
what I mean is it is. It will. I mean, it's cool to have both monsters work together, you know? There wouldn't be any new artists from there if it wasn't for Drake making Toronto cool.
Beyond the music industry, another area where The Weeknd has succeeded is cinema. No one can argue that Abel shoots his music videos as if they were part of a larger cinematic universe. The artist has repeatedly stated that he draws inspiration from film. His love for the works of legendary directors, such as David Lynch, Stanley Kubrick, and Martin Scorsese has shaped the dark tones of his music. Most of The Weeknd's music videos contain references to scenes from famous films: Joker, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Uncut Gems, Chinatown, Casino, and Psycho. For the After Hours album, Abel released a short film that borrows the dark aesthetic of New York at Night from Martin Scorsese's film of the same name. In 2019, The Weeknd and producer and director Sam Levinson presented the series Euphoria. The project almost instantly became one of the most successful releases in the history of the streaming platform HBO Max. On average, each episode of Euphoria's first season was watched by 16 million people. It won 3 Emmy Awards, 3 MTV Awards, a Golden Globe, and received excellent audience ratings and reviews from most of the world's most influential and well-known media outlets. But Abel didn't stop there, and in 2023, the series The Idol hit the screens, where the musician once again served as executive producer alongside Sam Levinson and also played the lead role. However, it failed to repeat Euphoria's success. The series was criticized for an empty plot, and Abel himself received a lot of criticism for his acting.
Creative direction fucking sucks with Jocelyn.
I don't disagree.
And here's what he himself said about this project.
A lot of Jocelyn is definitely inspired by my experiences. And experiences that of other artists that I've witnessed, male, female, and almost, you know, I feel very fortunate to have made some of the right decisions in my life. Very lucky, you know, that I'm here. I get to do what I love with the people I love, surrounded by the people I trust. And Jocelyn is almost like an alternate reality if I had made some of the wrong choices in my life. And it's almost like me trying to, you know, show the world or teach young artists to, you know, make the right decisions, maybe, subconsciously, I don't know.
But soon we can expect another film from The Weeknd, which will be tied to the album Hurry Up Tomorrow. This is a closure release in 2 senses. On one hand, it is the final part of the album trilogy. The first part was After Hours, the second Dawn FM. On the other hand, this is the last album The Weeknd will release under his usual pseudonym. He plans to abandon The Weeknd and perform under a different name, most likely under his real name, Abel Tesfaye, as he has already changed his name to Abel on social media. Among the entire trilogy, Hurry Up Tomorrow is the longest. It has 22 songs compared to 14 on After Hours and 16 on Dawn FM. The album is also stylistically similar to The Weeknd's early mixtapes, House of Balloons, Thursday, and Echoes of Silence. These were also released as a trilogy. The Weeknd's journey began with a trilogy and ended with one, featuring a similar sound. The circle has closed. The Weeknd is a pop star and hitmaker, but with Hurry Up Tomorrow, at least for now, no hits have emerged. 3 singles, Dancing in the Flames, Timeless, and Sao Paulo, failed to gain popularity. Timeless did manage to reach the top 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, but it quickly dropped down, failing to stay in the chart for even 20 weeks. Meanwhile, Dancing in the Flames didn't even make it into the top 10 and was excluded from the track list. However, critics highly praised the release, noting its openness, something uncharacteristic for Abel, as his stage persona had always remained mysterious, and he rarely shared personal details. In the tracks, he reflects on the death of his artistic alter ego, the state of the music industry and show business as a whole, unhappiness, and family. The incident with his voice loss is also addressed. He dedicates a 12-second skit to it. The fact is, in 2022, The Weeknd lost his voice during a concert in Los Angeles and was forced to end the show after just one song.
I'm so sorry. I love you guys so much. You know how much this kills me right now, I'm sorry.
This is killing me. I don't want to stop, but I can't give you the concert I want to, the musician said on stage, promising to refund ticket money. By the way, this incident led some commentators to speculate that he still has issues with banned substances and addiction.
Bruno Mars, if you listen to his lyrics sometimes, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
It's almost like when you listen to The Weeknd shit, like you really listen and you're like, oh, The Weeknd might have a drug problem.
Yeah, I love that though.
The Weeknd's my favorite, probably my favorite, like, I mean, I just love, I don't know if I listen to anyone more than The Weeknd. I love The Weeknd. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you see him at SoFi?
No, but she did.
It was fucking fire.
Really?
I went the night before he didn't perform because he came out on stage and like apologized to everybody because his voice wasn't,
Oh no.
which I actually liked because most people would have just pushed through, but he was like, nah, I got to do this the right way. We're in LA, but he's amazing.
Damn. Wait, so did he come in like?
He spent
redo it?
Yeah, he redid it like I think it was like a month and a half or two later.
The release encapsulates everything Abel has worked on throughout his career. His signature dark sound is a perfect fit for the final chapter of The Weeknd's work, as critics have noted. The magazine Clash described Hurry Up Tomorrow as a structurally complex and sonically expansive conclusion to the trilogy, in which he blended elements from his entire discography. The review highlighted the album's ambitious scope, covering a wide range of genres and production styles, calling it a sonic supernova. The lack of hits on Hurry Up Tomorrow is confirmed by the numbers so far. On its first day, it gained 58 million streams, a modest result for a 22-track release from a superstar artist. At the same time, there is a sense that The Weeknd wasn't trying to dominate the charts. He has enough successful songs in his discography to last for years. He didn't focus on guest stars. There were hardly any posts about the release, and there was no flashy promotional campaign. If The Weeknd doesn't change his mind and truly abandons his pseudonym, he may also change his style, or he may go in a completely different direction. Perhaps the film Hurry Up Tomorrow will be successful, and the musician will find himself in cinema. Not necessarily as an actor, writing soundtracks is also a promising and respected field. The album's main strength is not its cinematic quality, its arrangements, or its experiments. It sparks curiosity about the musician himself. What else will he create? What steps will he take? And in which direction will he go? The story of the character named The Weeknd has ended, but the artist's story continues. As we approach the end of our video and the career of Abel under his old name, we can say that this man has achieved everything. A difficult childhood full of loneliness, the absence of a father figure, poverty, crime, and banned substances. None of this stopped the future pop star from conquering the musical Olympus, but instead gave him strength and motivation to work and develop further. Everyone knows his name, and billions of streams and views on his music videos prove the incredible success of a guy no one could have predicted a bright future for. Now, Abel is moving on to a new stage in his career, and we are sure that he will still give us dozens of hits and interesting albums. What do you think about The Weeknd's story? We'd love to hear your opinion in the comments. See you soon.